All right, good morning, good morning. It is 8:15. It is June 26th. It is Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Take a look at disclosure. Let's get to it. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's morning call. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Fed the brain, did a little fitness, a little fun, little family, little friends, whatever it is that you do on the weekends. And here we are. So futures are down about 7-8 handles. We're a little bit off the lows. Russia is definitely dominating the conversation, but I don't think it's changing the narrative. Basically the market's kind of, I hate to say it, but ignored a lot of what's been going on between Russia and Ukraine and this and that. So unless there's some kind of black swan that you can't really trade or prepare for, it's pretty much, same type of composure. We're in the middle of a bit of a retracement, digestive, corrective move that we don't know how much further it goes or where does it hold. It could hold right here. You look here at the chart of the SPYs from almost 444-ish down to 432-ish. That's about 100 handles in the S&P cash, 10 points. So we'll see what happens today. Do we, hold above 432.47 or not? Right now the SPYs are coming up a little bit as we speak. I bought a little bit more Apple, a little bit more Amazon. Here's 433.10, down 10 cents. Not a whole lot of downside. Qs are about the same. So, I would love to see if we could get into this spot. I don't know, maybe not today. We'll see how it goes. But all in all, pretty controlled pullback. Some guys have got a little complained. I know that Thursday we were pretty long going into Friday. There were definitely ways to trade out of a few things, and a few things I got stopped out of also. And now we see, what does this week bring? Look at the Qs. Controlled pullback, not quite as low. The Qs have still been a very big source of relative strength. They're at 362.43, above 360, above 360.80. So the Qs are still strong. The bears can't growl unless it could get below and stay below 360.22, which it hasn't been able to do. In the beginning of June, everybody was clamoring about the rotation trade, and there was some money there, but it was a trade, not a new trend. IWM was a trade, not a new trend. From here up until there, it faltered. Now maybe you could try it versus 180.05, but that's it. XBI was a trade, not a trend. I remember buying it down here and selling it to strength, and everyone's like, well, maybe it goes for weeks and months. I'm like, okay, maybe it does, but I'm taking the trade, and then it broke the 8-day, and we'll see what happens now. Now it broke below 85.50, went as low as what? 84.96. So that's your point of reference. Hey, maybe it does a red dog reversal. That wouldn't be so bad, and then it has another chance. But again, trade versus trends are two different things. Same way for a lot of those sectors. We did make some money in the KRE. There's some news on Pac West today that might help them. It might be a Band-Aid for them. I don't know. All I know is, this broke 42.50. I made some decent money in the puts. I have about 25% left. If you get a bounce, maybe I'll buy more puts, in August versus the ones that expire this week. I bought them right around here, so that worked. That helped. Helped as a hedge. Same way I sold some premium higher. I have no premium sold this week coming in with the SPYs and the Qs. I'd rather try and buy into an area this week versus, the oscillator was plus 42 and now it's minus 25-ish. So we are a tiny bit oversold, but doesn't mean we're going to hold this area in the SPY, but I'd rather be opportunistic into this area to try and buy if possible. I bought Apple this morning. I didn't have it. Still riding the 8-day higher. It's definitely stronger than most things out there. Made a new all-time high again. So I figured I better buy some while it's down so I could, watch it. As long as it holds 185, I think I'm going to try and stay in Apple for the week and trade around it. That's really strong. Meta, really strong. I'm not buying it this morning, but Meta had a buy and balance and, took out this area, held the 8-day this entire time. Wow, what a strong stock. Hopefully some of you guys are still riding it. I'm not there right now, but if it gets above 289.69, it can continue. I think Microsoft is buyable again. If some guys sold it above 349 with that little reversal, and I know I played it long, and I didn't do so horrible there. I got stopped out of it. I don't have it now. It's down 76 cents. I might revisit it for a trade if it can go from red to green and start to show a little relative strength. Maybe it's worth a look. The low on Friday was what? 333.45, which was above the 332. So it's still showing some relative strength. It deserves to still be go-to status. If this were to break, then it changes. Google has not been great at all. Kind of tricky. Ever since this wide range bearish engulfing bar, I've been kind of very standoffish there. And then here was another opening sell, and then then it's been able to be bought on dips. It was downgraded this morning. It's down $1.38. I'm probably not going to trade it, but I guess you'll see. If it goes from red to green, that'd be pretty impressive with another downgrade. It's right here at down $1.34. 120.93. That's above this 121. Actually, no, it's below it. So we'll see what happens there. Excuse me. Amazon was really special last week. Amazon was one of my biggest trades coming in on Friday, and thank goodness, because if you're in the right stock, sometimes you get a better way out of it. And I was able to buy more while it was lower. Then I wound up pushing higher, so I traded around it. So that helped my day on Friday. I am still long, and I actually just bought a little bit more. If we're going to bounce this week, you would think that Amazon could take out 130.84. I did put the weekly chart just so you could see it. It's different, right? Apple is at all-time highs up here. There's not many other stocks like that. So Amazon's been kind of trying to play catch up. Remember, we were long it here, saying it to 120. Well, it's proving it could be a little bit better. So now it seems like it's on its way to this 134 to 136. If that's the case, I'm going to try and stay with it. I have options. I'm going to try and stay with some of the stock. And if this is a bounce week, I would think, that this area could happen. So I'm going to try and stay along there. If it went green to red and went down today and didn't show the same muscle memory from last week, then I'll change. But we'll see. Some guys bought Netflix on Friday. I did not. You don't really see much on the weekly, but on the daily, real quickly, it did reverse. So some are inverse 417.73, not me. That stock's loose and wide enough. To me, it's kind of hard. So anyway, you go to the semis, AMD, some guys bought this back with the bottom tail. We've been kind of very, now I haven't been bearish, but I've been careful on this double top, and then some guys got out here at 122. It was really weak on Friday. I wanted to play a reversal, and then it reversed at lunchtime, so I kind of missed it. So if you played it on the 50-day, congratulations. Maybe there's room towards this 115.80 to 117-ish area. I wouldn't be like buying it up $1.50, but again, be careful just fading it, because it is a day one up, and if we do bounce, there is some room. So it's gonna be just hard to buy it. Doesn't mean it's a short. Just saying. Now let's go back to Tesla. Tesla, was downgraded again. It was down a bunch more this morning, and now it's actually only down 265, so it's back above 252.80. It was below it before, so we'll see if this inside wedge builds. We had a really good success here. I got to try and re-engage it. I just got to make sure that it's worth being go-to status again. So far, it's been very, very tradable. So maybe it goes green today. It's down 274. Goldman downgraded. I'll watch. But Tesla will be worth the watch. While we're on that, Lucid came out with some news with Aston Martin and this and that. It's been left for dead. It's raised a lot of money by the Saudis, and I don't know. Maybe see what Right now it's up 50 cents. It's not a big deal. Maybe look for a low, like a 5-15-minute low. If you've been waiting to buy this for some reason, there is a dealership in Short Hills. It's a pretty cool car, but it's expensive. But anyway, maybe it's reborn. Maybe, but be careful, because I also said the same thing with Rivian. Played it for one day, and then that was it. Broken stocks are broken stocks. Looked as if it was going to get above this 1609. Looked as if, hey, maybe there's a chance that this thing gets to the 200-day. And it said, So I got out of some, and then I lost on some, and then I made some money on the options, and I'm going to lose on the rest of them. So These type of trades are, they're not always leading to an active sequence. Sometimes they do, but they don't always. Talking about active sequences, this U was great for us. Some guys bought versus 36.45. Hey, maybe that's a pivot and it can continue. I didn't play this one well. On Friday, I had too much going on and I get out of it, but I might buy it back. Has some room. AI didn't touch. We sold most of it into the 48, thank goodness. And then some, like me, on the remainder got stopped out of 42, and then it went to 32. Just shows you how some of these spec names could get hurt pretty fast. Right now it's up 16 cents, not a whole hell of a lot. Some guys bought Boeing back with this little red dog reversal on Friday. I think somebody came out and said buy the weakness in Boeing, so it's up a bit, has a little bit of room. It's very, very choppy. GLD's been, just out of play and annoying for most who do it. I don't really play it. I just charted for some guys. This is when it kind of changed for me. This 118, this 188-ish, it became from special to back to a macro play if you're a macro guy. Maybe it tries to fill this gap. It's just still just downtrending. Bitcoin was a lot more interesting. That's where I made a lot of money last week in the Bitcoin stocks. We'll see if we can make more money there, or was that it? These are very, very tricky stocks, and you have to have Bitcoin, continue to hold higher for these things to at all have any kind of buy interest. So I would think that this has to hold like 29-ish as it lets the 8-day catch up, and if it can, maybe there's another trade here. Pushed through this 31 and came back fast. The same way it pushed below here, came back fast. This was the real spot to buy it. This when this broke 27K. Now we'll see how long it has to hold in here. I went with Mara first, and Mara was great. Hit 13.10. I'm going to try and stay with it. I'm not going to be overly focused on it. I'm smaller. I sold into strength. Maybe I'll buy a little bit on the dip, and then I'll give it to some time. I remember I bought too much that day, but it worked out. But it was, it was a focus. And this stock, I don't want it to be a focus. Same thing with Riot. It has a nice little setup here, but look how choppy that was. So if this was your focus during this choppy mess, it was definitely a pain. I'd rather just trade what I'm trading. I have a little bit of this, and I'll, buy more if it comes into this 1070, and then see if it works. If Bitcoin breaks 29, it's probably over. Coin I won't hold, so I bought a big call spread, which actually was up a lot of money. Actually, it was a little cute. I sold a little bit of the long side of it, and I'm a little bit more short, so maybe into that I'll rebalance it. But I did like something for August, not a short-term one, saying that, hey, people are talking about an activist, a takeover. This is the only reliable exchange. So we'll see how that goes. 87, 85. So there is a void if it wants to go. This morning it's down, I think, like $1 or so, 66 cents. Hey, maybe it goes green. Maybe it takes out to 61.89 and gets another push. I'm going to watch it. I might trade it, but it's a lot of work, that stock. So I'd rather just have a call spread. Ginseng will be speaking today, 5 o'clock to 5:45. Somebody said, can I look at snow also? Choppy. I don't know what this was from. There's no gap here. Maybe there was a gap there. So anyway, it is Monday. It's a new week, last week of June. I think a lot of us are trying to end on a good note. I was at the highs of my year on Thursday. I lost a little bit on Friday, and now I'm going to try and work my way back. As we speak now, the SPYs are going green, the Qs are going green. We'll see what today holds. Doesn't mean that the low of the week from Friday is a low, but it could be. So we'll see. I'm not short any premium, and we'll see. How it shakes out. There's gonna be a lot of talk about Russia and the coup and the this and the that and the Wagner Group and the mercenaries. I would focus on the actions. Nothing, we're not Russian experts here. We're traders, and we try and trade for a living. And at this point, you have Apple a leader, Meta a leader. We'll see if Tesla goes green. Amazon's been acting better. Microsoft might be in the game. AMD getting you bounced. Nvidia is now up. So there's still a lot of things going on. So focus on your setups. Focus on what you could do and what you control, not what you can't control. And we'll see if we can make some money today and this week. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll post a few more charts.